everyone, welcome back. It's Mo, aka Swedish Whiskey Girl, and today we are here with Craigellachie 23. And this is actually thanks to, I think your name is Teddy KGB here on YouTube, who was asking for a review of the Craigellachie 23, and I was like, oh great, I have a sample at home, I can review that. But I actually realised now that I didn't know if you meant like the original release, which I think was released in a wee while back, or this one, which is, I believe, the Exceptional Cask it's called. This is at 46% ABV, and usually Craigellachie is matured in a combination of ex-bourbon and ex-sherry, but this is 100% Oloroso sherry cask matured, and it's a limited release of about, I think, 3,200 bottles-ish, which retails at £430, so it ain't cheap. And been blended together by Stephanie McLeod, who is the Dewar's master blender. And if you've watched this channel before, you know I have a bit of a complicated relationship with Craigellachie. We had a rough start, but now we are back on track. And now it's actually one of those that as soon as someone says Craigellachie, I'm like, oh, I need to try that. So Teddy KGB, I'm sorry if this wasn't the one you were intending to see, but I hope it'll be interesting to hear anyways. So 23-year-old, like I said, a little small batch, which is a mix of a few different casks that they brought together, and natural colour, non-chill filtered. Craigellachie is also a distillery that you can drive past. It's in Speyside, and it's quite close to Aberlour and Macallan and those kind of distilleries up there. But you can't visit it, unfortunately, unless you're there on the Spirit of Speyside Festival, which of course is virtual this year, but I think they're doing an in-person event, if it's safe to go, in November. So if someone's curious about that, check it out. But for now, we're gonna have a little look. This sample I got from the Very Dull Whiskey Club, which is hosted by the brand ambassadors of Dewar's. So it was really interesting to learn more about it, and I had a little sip before, and it was really nice. Let's delve a bit deeper into it now, and we'll start by having a look on the nose. It's like pear and mint sweets. Maybe a bit of grilled pineapple. It's this kind of juicy fruitiness that comes out, but it's very fresh, which is why it makes me think a little bit of mint. In my opinion, this is a lovely nose because it just holds up the age, I think, quite well. It's you can tell it has a good complexity on the nose. Maybe a bit of kind of brown sugar as well, like molasses. Yeah, almost like a rum sweetness to it, but not overpowering. The fresh fruits is still the kind of center of it. But then it also has this soft, sweet wood underneath, which I think if you are used to trying whiskeys that are over 20 years, you will tend to find it on a lot of them. It's just this kind of nicely you can tell it's been in the oak for a long time, but it's also bears it well. Like, it's not gone boring or over oaked, it's just a nice balance of things. A bit like a meadow as well. It's a little bit floral, but not perfume floral, more like fruit floral, if that makes sense. But let's have a little sip. Sláinte Skål. It's such a pleasure to drink something like this. The first thing I got was this kind of grassy bitterness. And for a second my brain went, oh, I don't remember it being this bitter. But as soon as I thought that, then everything else kind of came in. Since Craigellachie uses worm tubs, which is a type of condenser that gives you less copper contact, it can be easy to get a really kind of sulphuric note in Craigellachie, which gives it a bit of a meaty spirit, and I could not stand that for a long time, but something changed along the way, and now I almost can't pick it, I can't even pick it out, and it's just super fruity, which is what this is. So it was that kind of grassy bitterness, and then it gets like, if you're at a beach and then suddenly you get a big wave over you that you weren't expecting, you're just kind of like just soaked in it. That's what it's a bit like with the flavours, because you get this grassy bitterness that made me a little bit hesitant, and then as soon as I kind of think about it, then you get this wave of fruits. Has enough sweetness to make it feel sweet, and I think the sweetness balances the bitter notes really well. The bitterness is quite floral for me now. The sweetness is more, not as much molasses and brown sugar on the palate, more fresh and like mint sugar, but really crisp and fresh, and a little bit pear-like. I can get a hint of that meaty spirit underneath, but primarily it's just this big fruit bomb. But I think the meaty spirit underneath, which almost has a tint of an ashy note today, makes it just so interesting kind of pick at all these layers. When people say that they like drinking old whiskey, I think it's something like this that they usually think of, something that is really nicely balanced, quite complex, just has a lot of things going on. Personally, I wouldn't say it's super sherry, but no, I wouldn't. I don't know what the sherry casks are. They could be American oak, could be like sherry butts probably, but like I wouldn't say it's like very raisiny, but I do think when you think about it, you can probably pick out a little bit of a dry woody notes, or just little things to kind of build the groundwork for the whiskey. But then the spirit character and the age takes it a little bit further, and that's the main thing you're getting. I mean, Stephanie McLeod's gotten so many awards for being a really good master blender, so she's done a marvellous job at blending this together. I wish I could afford to buy a bottle. I am really enjoying this. The thing, if I was scoring this whiskey, I would just take away slightly from it, because it has, for my personal taste, just a tad too much of a bitter note. But I know some people like that because it really makes the flavours cling onto your palate, but that's me being super picky with this. Yeah, it's a lovely whiskey. It's complex, has a lot of things going on for it. I mean, I am a little bit biased towards Craigellachie now because I have such a personal connection to it, such a journey. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you think of Craigellachie. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where are you in your Craigellachie journey? Are you team sulphur meaty spirit, or are you team juicy fruity spirit? Because I think it tends to be people either get the juicy fruits and that's the only thing they're getting, or they get the meaty sulphuric spirit. So I'd love to find out what you're getting when you try Craigellachie. It doesn't matter if it's the 13, the 23 or any of the others. The 51 if you've been lucky to try that one. But yeah, I am juicy fruits at the moment with a touch of that meaty spirit probably. But yeah, no, it's a lovely dram. Like I said, I kind of wish I could afford to buy one, but I'm so grateful I've been able to try a sample of it. And if you've tried Craigellachie, can't speak anymore, I mean, it is one of the most tricky words to say, I would say, but Craigellachie 23 exceptional cask. I'd love to find out what your thoughts are on it, so please put them in the comments below. And if you liked the video, I would of course be really happy if you consider subscribing if you haven't already, and perhaps leaving a like. Or if you want to support the channel, then I'd of course be absolutely over the moon if you would consider using my affiliate links the next time you're shopping with either Master Malt Whisky Exchange or the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. All that information are of course in the description here below. And I also want to say a massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. Thank you so much for joining me on my whiskey journey. But I hope you've all had an absolutely wonderful day. Sláinte Skål!